Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Right After. I am your host, Wellington Gomez, and I'm here with my co host.
Ricky Beatty, executive producer.
How are
And
you, my love?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be back here.
Ditto, kiddo. We were on a little hiatus.
We were on a little hiatus.
We're technically
And
still on hiatus, but we thought we'd give you guys a little sprinkle.
yeah, right. Very much that. You see, producer hat on. Um, no, very much that. We had a bunch of great content right before we went into our hiatus that we were doing. So I hope that you guys all check that out. Our episode with Chase, our episode with Justin, our episode with Gibson, with Katie, and like those were great episodes we did in studio. And we're also excited to get back in studio and get back to the game because no shade, y'all need reality right after.
Because the girls aren't talking about
The
it.
girls aren't talking. The girls are not reporting. The girls are not giving facts. Okay?
I'm not saying that the girls are not doing their thing, but they're not doing it. You have to add the MC Deborah clip right there.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the girls are not doing their thing, but they're not doing it.
I love when you give me homework while we're recording. Like, can this just be a clean shot in and out?
Yeah, I'm gonna save my notes for the end.
So Potomac is back, Ricky.
The girls are girling.
The girls are girling. Season
girls are
9 of
girling.
Potomac is back. It premiered. So far, we have watched the premiere. Today's Wednesday, past the Wednesday after the premiere. And initial thoughts on the Potomac premiere, 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay, 7 is I mean, I don't disagree. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. And I'm gonna tell you why I give it 0.5 more points than you did.
Okay.
I think they're finally something that you really never get from Potomac is their use of friends. Like there's always friends in the background, but they're not really like big characters.
Yeah.
Charisse, I don't count Charisse as a friend because Charisse is an OG and her being on the show is kind of like very natural and very organic. So it doesn't really count like to me her as being a friend. But like the Jacquelines of the world before this season, what other like I feel like Potomac is not even, how like Marlo to be the iconic friend from
Right.
Roa.
There's dimension to it. They're starting to add dimension to it.
Exactly. Yes. Like Jassy, I think it's a great addition to the show. The new girl Stacy I love her from the initial episode. And that's why I give it a 0.5 because I think that we saw freshness, a lot of freshness in this premiere. And I like it that I don't even think about what happened last season.
I do, but
okay.
I do agree that what tends to happen with a lot of these shows after like their 7th season is that the storylines get exacerbated, right? So the friends of adds a dimension and layers to the show so that conflicts can happen on a primary, secondary, and tertiary level, right? Me and you are beefing, my homegirl beefing with your homegirl who beefing with you. So then that, kind of keeps the ball rolling in different and interesting ways. And a part of me I feel two ways. I appreciate all the brownness on the cast, but I'm like, are they overcorrecting for all that colorism from last season? So
but no shade, wouldn't you want them to correct?
Yeah, I want them to correct in a genuine way. And the genuine way is to let Giselle be corrected.
But I agree with you. But we can't have our cake and eat it too, So Giselle, I wish we could, but we can't. Giselle,
that's my issue with Potomac and why they will never be in Atlanta or Beverly Hills or Jersey.
They don't hold accountable their biggest stars. Like no shade, Teresa has gone through the mud.
That's what I'm saying is that's why
takedown season after takedown season.
That's why Giselle, I can never give her a 10. I can never give her 10s because Nene, Teresa, Lisa Vanderpump, all these girls
have gone through their
Have
takedowns
gone through a season of you're an evil monster and we want to take you down, and they have came out better,
better.
and we love them for it. And I feel like the thing about Giselle is she always has one a sidekick that's willing to do her dirty work, and she's never had a takedown season.
Mm.
They're consistently trying to take down Karen, and it's just like, you know.
I find it interesting that they consistently try to take down Karen.
And it never works.
And it never works. Like, it really never works because just like Nene, Karen's talent is that she is reactionary in a comedic way.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter
She's
what
likable.
she's likable. It don't matter what you're gonna throw at Karen. Her response is gonna be hilarious, and we're gonna eat it up.
And we care that she's driving drunk, but we don't care. Like, that's not something that's gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's a terrible person. We can't deal with Karen because she's driving drunk.
Right.
We look at Karen as our elder crazy aunt. And so all the things she does is in that vein. You get what I mean?
You know what's funny? When we were doing the studio episode, we talked about this story when Karen first when the news first came out, and I remember you saying the same thing, like
we don't care. Like, we care, like, drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, but next caller, like
we don't care to discuss this all season.
Yeah, and it's just like, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. What's every time these cameras cut on, I get the yawning, and that's how tired I am of Giselle. That's the noise that I just get the yawning.
No, so okay, so Potomac opens up with a reenactment of Karen's DUI situation. And you see the car and it hits and it's skips a deer, it almost kills a deer, and then it hits a tree. And then we see Giselle driving to Karen's house. And I love the fact that the new season starts with the OGs of OGs. You know, it's like Karen and Giselle are the anchors of the show. I don't see this show starting any other way. So I like that. Giselle goes over to Karen's house. They're going out for lunch. She picks Karen's up because, you know, Karen is not driving. And while she's picking Karen up, she kind of jokes with Ray, and she's like, Ray, don't worry, I'm the one driving. Like, you know. So then Giselle gets in the car with Karen, and she, you know, Giselle is gonna break the story to the bone. She's like, so before we start driving, like, does it trigger you if we drive by the crash scene? And Karen is just like, I would rather not, but no, it's not triggering. And you know, Karen is like, at the phase of adversary, Karen is very, very serene, very, you know, demure. Very demure. So they get to this place where they have the Karen special. So Karen is a regular at this breakfast joint, and they're just talking, you know, about everything. Giselle kind of like tells her, like, listen, like, I don't know you to be this person. So what happened? Like, I was shocked when I saw this, and I specifically wanted to make sure that you were okay. Karen, I will say, as a viewer, I kind of was like a little taken back by the way that Karen responded to Giselle. I did think that there was double meaning in the way that Giselle wanted to approach this. Of course, she wants to have a moment for the cameras, but I do think that Giselle and Karen's friendship has gotten to the point where if the reality rundown is breaking news that Karen was caught in a DUI, I can see Giselle, you know, being concerned by that. So Karen, on the other hand, she feels like Giselle's just trying to have a TV moment. And she basically tells Giselle to go read. Honey, the articles are right there. If you want to know anything, go read the articles. This is a legal matter. I'm not really speaking about it. But what I do know is that the truth will prevail, and I'm fighting this, and I hope that the justice system is on my side. In my head, I'm just like,
the thing about it is, Karen and Giselle are frenemies, right? And I
Right.
feel like all of the from last season and the season before, all of the private, intimate things Karen has shared with Giselle, Giselle has later then used as daggers, right?
Right.
So when you have frenemies, you got to keep it real above board. Like, read it, girl.
Right.
Do your due diligence. I'm
Right.
not gonna
Right.
give you any additional tea. You
Like
know,
I'm not gonna do the work for you, honey.
I'm not going to do your dirty work for you, girl. We're frenemies. We're not good girls. And I will
Right.
keep you down to the bar.
Right. Right. So, um, Giselle says that she's going to put, I think it's Karen's birthday also, like around this time. So Giselle says that she's going to put a little birthday brunch for Karen. It's going to be like a hat brunch.
Mhm.
And she's going to invite some ladies. That's when Karen is like, well, I would love for Stacy to come. And, you know, producers start putting in that little bug of like the new girls and how they're being introduced into the show. We see Ashley meeting with her divorce lawyer for the 100th time.
Mhm.
And Ashley is still not divorced from Michael. However, this season, she feels empowered enough to take him on in the court system and make sure that this divorce is finalized. What do you think about this?
Um, I think she did her prenuptials wrong, and she's trying to figure out a way to get divorce Michael, but in a way where she benefits economically,
Right, clock it.
right? So I don't know if that can be figured out, but I think that's what's stalling her.
Mm.
And so I don't think she wants to be with Michael. I just think that she wants to be in a place where she is set up better financially. Long story short, girl, is late and tired and boring. Next caller.
Next caller. Like we need to see you prevail from this storyline. Like it's no shade, Ashley. It's no shade to you, but we've let you slide with this storyline for almost 4 seasons straight.
Mm-hmm.
You're divorcing Michael, the divorce situation, the custody battle, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not saying that it's not your real story,
Mm-hmm.
but I will be remiss if I didn't think that when I go on Twitter and I see when people say that the reason why um, Ashley has not gotten a divorce is because, and just a separation is because Michael found a way of not being on camera,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, still being in this marriage with Ashley because it's at this point it's of convenience, at least to Ashley, that the reason why she hasn't divorced him yet is because this is Michael's way of not being on camera
Mm-hmm.
because she doesn't want to get divorced, but Michael doesn't want to be on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a reality show that's called The Real Housewives and you're married, there's no way that your husband is not going to be on the show.
Right, right, right.
So Twitter is pointing that out. And while we see you fighting this divorce battle for 4 seasons straight, and we kind of don't get a definitive answer, I will be remiss to not think that that's the reason.
Maybe he could be on the show in passing, but if I were Michael, it probably really impacted his business and his relationship from Fool La La down to the Bravo. So he probably was like, girl,
But it impacted his relationships because of what he did,
true.
allegedly.
It's just like he wants his name out of the
Limelight.
the weekly, whatever.
Bravo
But
special.
I'm not gonna lie, Michael was good TV. He's
He
one of
was
the
good TV. He was good TV. He was a good Peter to have around.
he
And
will give a read every now and then. One
he
thing
would give
about Michael,
especially when it came to Robin.
then when it came to Robin,
Especially when it came to Miss Thing.
I always wanted to know his foot stayed on Robin's neck. Like, but don't get cute because
Because
your man was just round here. You know he like a blue eye, light skin some, so slow down.
right.
You know he like that.
But yeah, so we see Ashley still struggling with this marriage child, and we wish Ashley the best, and we hope that she comes out of this. And we see that Giselle's daughters are going to prom. They look so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, like the twins.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how you see kids like grow up to be adults and kind of like become this version of themselves that you kind of saw when they were like, they're two gorgeous young ladies. They did that. I love Giselle's relationship with her daughters. I think that one good thing about Giselle is that she's a great mother, and it shows through her daughters. So it was cute to see that Giselle has Jamal on the show. Pastor.
He engaged now.
And no shade. A lot of girls get on Giselle's ass about showing your real life. She's showing it. This is her divorce. Her divorce, baby father. The kids, bless you.
Thank you.
The kids, she's showing it. Last season, she was showing us her being a little hoe with Jason from Summer House. Just no shade. She's never hidden. She's never hidden. Wow. Remember when Giselle went to that grapevine with that?
Wow.
Remember when Giselle went to that grapevine?
She should have showed us Jamal when they was faking that relationship. That's what she should have done.
She did. I just didn't catch it until Monique said it at the reunion.
Let me stop going in on Giselle. Let me stop going in on my auntie. It's cool, but like she really took me to the edge last season. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's we have to new season, new mind. I think that's something very important when it comes to these shows. Like, you really have to kind of like step away. Like, I know it's hard because specifically with Potomac, they can get so dark, and the things that happen on this show that have happened on this show, it's like it hits you personally. So I know that it can be hard to step away from seeing certain characters in that light. But new season, I think, is important to kind of like, old storylines are old storylines. Let's not carry it into this new season. But two things can be true. That's why you're on this podcast.
That's true.
So then we see Karen is going with Stacy. Stacy needs a dress for some reason. She's going to a gala soon. I think this is just bullshit. I think this is just a scene that they're putting together to introduce Stacy. And Karen throws a regular housewife bone. Where's her ring? Stacy, my dear, why don't you have your ring on? And Stacy's like, oh my God, Karen, I have not been with my man for the longest, and we've been separated for almost a year, and yeah, I don't wear my ring anymore. And yeah, like, it's hard. It's a new transition for me and my family, but we're going through it, and I'm okay, Now, this is when girl, can you back up from the camera? This is when I saw that I was like, Stacy is a good housewife. Karen threw her that bone, and she said, whoop, reverse Uno.
And went to get her Oscar.
Grabbed the champagne flute that was filled with champagne and said, let's toast. She said, oh, Karen, oh my God, I am so sorry. I didn't even think. Does it bother you that we're drinking?
He's like, bitch, if you think you're gonna clock me, I'm gonna show you something that would clock you too. Actually, can you drink, bitch? Because you was just
girl.
Your car.
10 out of 10 performance. First episode for Stacy. 10 out of 10 performance for the girl. That is how you step as a new housewife on the scene. You let the girls know that I see the bone you threw at me, and then I'm throwing it back.
But the thing is, she gave Karen a Karen bone.
Right. Right.
What
very demure.
So good at being shady is that you can miss it. You can miss it.
Karen caught it. Karen said, ooh, I was not expecting this. And even Vivian caught it. That's why Vivian didn't even say anything. She was just like, and Karen caught it. She processed. She processed. She was like, now why would it bother me, honey? It was a very demure, classy shade off.
It reminds me of the scene where Phaedra was telling the stylist, you got it right. He said, well, whenever I got it right. That's exactly the energy. Like, bitch, don't clog me.
It was very like, and that's that. Remember when we talk about the art of reading? That is reading. Reading is not sitting across the table and yelling at each other.
Kenya.
And
Kenya It's not being who could be as low and nasty. Reading is
Yeah, reading is,
witty, it's intellectual. You got to catch it. It's like
you
it's
gotta
not
catch it.
nasty. Like it could be shady or could
It
be
could
not.
be shady, it could be not, it could apply to you, it could not apply to you. That's the read.
Mm-hmm.
So great, great performance, freshman performance for Miss Stacy. Shout out to Miss Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
So then all of the girls come to the brunch. Well, before we get to the brunch, the Mia of it all. Mia is dealing with the aftermath of what happened last season with Gordon and the dissolution of their marriage. You know, they're separated. They have yet to officially get divorced, but they're separated. Gordon has now moved into Mia's apartment building
Mm-hmm.
and lives in the same apartment building. She says it works for them and it works for the kids. Um, Gordon wants nothing to do with Ink. That's clear.
Mm-hmm.
He actually clocks Mia because Mia brings up the fact that Gordon is not being cooperative when it comes to co-parenting. And he's like, co-parenting, bitch? Like, he's not a parent. What is you talking about, co-parenting? So any little motherfucker that you bring into any little sneaky link that you're bringing into the apartment has to co-parent with me now? Like, this is not an institution.
Gordon me reading too. He said, "Bitch, if you want a fair, go to the circus."
Go to the circuit. That was a key. That was a key.
And then he said, "I got a co-parent with no parent." Gordon,
He be reading.
he be reading me down.
He be reading me down. But I agree with Gordon. I don't think it's fair to make Gordon jump into a co-parenting situation, try and go with Ink. I think that you and Gordon should figure out your co-parenting situation, and as your situation with Ink becomes more serious and more established and more of an institution,
You can work it out.
you
Whatever
can work it out.
you and Ink do on your time with the kids, but I don't have to cooperate and talk and be nice to. We were married. You're not married to Ink. And honestly, I hope she doesn't use her son's paternity as a storyline. She know that Ink ain't that baby daddy. And that would just be really low down and dirty.
No, I'm not even kidding. When she pressed Gordon about a paternity test because she says that she wants her son to know who her real father is, and she wants to raise her son knowing who her now it's no shade, but that's just my reaction. Now you're concerned with that? How old is he? He's like 7.
Any girl that will be serving lobster trays at a strip club, you can't trust. And her son's gonna get older and see this, and it's a low down dirty shame.
I'm actually sad for when he says this because
she know Gordon, that little boy daddy.
She knows that. She knows that. Her first of all, they look so alike.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please. So I think
and the middle part blonde flipped at the bottom wig is terrible.
Terrible.
It's horrible. I've never been more horrible in my life.
Like, Mia, I don't want you doing blonde wigs ever again. That one you did at the
What did you say?
The one you did at the Potomac premiere party, that was cute. It was very Giselle. It was very Giselle looking wig. Like, it was very cute, very Lotto. But
very Lotto. But that wig she had on, I said, "Oh
no. If they're not $5,000 wigs, please don't put a blonde wig on because they're gonna look tacky and they're gonna look crazy.
They need to find who doing Beyonce wig.
Right. So yeah, I'm excited to see this storyline with Mia. I think that is commendable that she's giving it all to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what housewives should do, though. When it gets messy, jump in front of the camera.
Like she don't gotta make it up. Her Gordon and Ink as a throuple was enough.
Enough. The things with the kids, I need that off my television.
Buy me a be lying. Next caller.
So the girls are all at this luncheon. They're starting to get to this luncheon. Ashley brings a basket for Karen, and inside the basket, she has 3 Uber cards.
Ashley,
and one thing about Ashley,
a messy bottom.
One thing about Ashley is that I know that Ashley's not gonna let this DUI to rest. She's gonna press Karen about this the entire season. If you know Ashley, you know she will. Um, a new dynamic that we're seeing is Giselle and Wendy. Giselle and Wendy are friendlier for sure. They're addressing each other. No shade. This is no shade to either of them. I always felt like Wendy always wanted to be Giselle's friend. When Wendy, please be serious. When Wendy, and Giselle went through it, Giselle paid her dust. Dust. Even in arguments, dust. So seeing Giselle actually kiki with Wendy, I was actually like, wow, Giselle, the producers really got in her ear and said, honey, y'all need to get it together or else this is not going to work. Because I was very surprised to see how cute she was with Wendy. You wasn't? You wasn't?
No. And I'm going to tell you why.
Tell me.
Last season,
Mm-hmm.
they treated Wendy horribly.
I agree.
They ganged up on her and treated Wendy horribly.
I agree.
Giselle has a history of attacking the darker skinned women on the show. Will I go as far as to say she's overtly colorist? No. Is she subconsciously colorist? Absolutely. When friendships are genuine, or making amends is genuine, we have to see the hash out, right?
So do you?
At the bare minimum, for that to be believable to me, they should have, after that Karen with her driving, they should have had a sit down with Wendy and Giselle and they talk about their issues, because now it seems that one, Giselle is at a disadvantage because Robert is not on the show.
Right.
And Candace is not on the show, which means that we lost the two bad guys that allowed Giselle to escape accountability. When everybody's pointing at Rob and everybody's pointing at Candace, the true person can kind of maneuver and shift around a bit. So they lost that. And so the thing that bothers me about Wendy is it doesn't seem like you even cared about the genuine issues that are going on when, say, Candace or Monique is getting bullied. You just wanted to be a part of the group of bullies.
Right.
And I'm gonna even throw another bone in here, and I don't even really mention these girls, but like Basketball Wives with Evelyn, Shawnee, and whomever's in the cool girl clique, it seems like they're always pining to be Giselle's friend, right? And so it's just like Wendy was in a perfect situation to hold Giselle accountable and still enjoy her throughout the season. She deserved to be called to the carpet. And so now Wendy just looks like an ass kisser to me. And I think that Giselle would never really be Wendy's friend. She's only doing it because it's beneficial for her to keep her. What do they get in Potomac? Champagne flute. So it's just a bit disingenuous for me. And I support it in that I want the ensemble cast to move forward. I want them to move forward from the drama from last season. But I feel like from a dignity perspective, from an integrity perspective, I would have just had to call Giselle to the carpet. I'm sorry.
Right. And I think that production should have set that up, like you said.
Yeah.
I think that proper storytelling should have been that in sequence. Karen, what happened? And then boom, let's get to the hashing out of Giselle and Wendy. So like that, when they come in an all scene with an all cast scene,
it makes sense.
It makes sense. So I agree with you. There was a discrepancy when it came to the storyline of Giselle and Wendy's friendship there, because I do know that they kind of have this conversation coming up in future episodes, but it's like you said, it should have been happening in the first episode so that we can kind of like move on and let that go. So Mia and Mia's friend Jacqueline is back this season as well. And Jacqueline shares that Karen called her and she sounded a little drunk. when she called her. Um, I was just like, this is
Oh,
hilarious.
what? Like,
Like,
how many of my homegirls have I called drunk and keyed? Like, what
right.
is she not allowed? Like, what are we
I
doing?
do find I
I
do
can't
find
get
it
into it.
I do find it like interesting that like they're trying to like criminalize drinking. Like Karen doesn't have an
They
alcohol.
trying to take Karen down, and it's disingenuous.
Like Karen has never like. Don't get me wrong though, she has 2 DUIs, so there's definitely something there. But at least from what we know, Karen is not a filthy, sloppy drunk.
How did you and Mia make up? Did you actually fuck Gordon? Why she call your parents, everybody? Why she was calling you broke and saying she had to take care? This is what I want to see.
Like we saw that you guys made up on social media, but
Let's talk about it.
let's talk about it. How did this happen?
Come on, like the Karen shit. And this is what I was telling you when
And
we
we invite you to the reality right after to talk about this
talk
because
about it.
these are the questions that the fans have.
But this is why I'm telling you this season is not enjoyable for me because it's disingenuous. Y'all are making a season for another Karen takedown when that's not what we want to see. That's not who deserves it.
Hopefully I hope that they fix it.
Gee,
It's only episode 1. Um Karen and Giselle press Mia about the Gordon situation, and they tell her that she really wasn't didn't have her kids in mind when she was doing all of this, because if she really had her kids in mind when she was doing this, then she wouldn't have, like, I guess, behaved the way she behaved. And Wendy came to Mia's defense and said, I think y'all doing a little bit too much. Like, this, we're talking about motherhood, and I think that's, as mothers, you guys should, like, kind of like, in a way, like, give her some grace.
I
And
do like the Karen and Giselle tag team. That's nasty.
that's nasty and it's iconic, and I need it.
That's
And
like when Nene and Kenya came together to get Kim at that reunion. I said, "Wow, this is what we want to see."
when the frenemies come together, honey,
Woo-wee!
like,
When they come together to get somebody out of here, you could count them out.
you can count. And literally, Mia got up and left
They got up and count them out. It was like boop boop. I said,
because it was Karen with the initial hit. Well,
Mhm.
Mia, you really haven't. And then Mia responded, and she said,
Giselle-
"Well, Karen, please don't judge me. You don't know what I'm doing with my kids, and please." And then Giselle came with the assist and said, "Well, if you really was taking care of your kids, you should have done it." So cute little tag team
Mhm.
from the OG side.
Just like Brawin and Mary. Hold on.
We're gonna get there. Uh, um, so that was cute. Giselle and Karen get a 10 out of 10. The OG get a 10 out of 10. Wendy stuck out for Mia. Another thing that is also, like, I don't really think is genuine either, because you really don't like Mia, no shade. Like, you really don't like Mia. So until I see you and Mia actually bond over something genuine, I don't think, like, I don't know. I need to see.
I take big issue with Wendy's approach to this season, but I'll wait it out. I take big issue with it.
Okay. I think that soon we're gonna have more insight about this.
Mhm.
And I need our listeners to stay tuned to that. So Mia walks out,
Mhm.
and she's like, this is too much. I don't know what I'm dealing with every night. And yeah, so that's kind of like where the episode ends. What do you give? You said you gave the premiere a 7. I give it a 7.5. Let's see where the story goes. I'm excited to see the new girls. I'm excited to see how things change, how dynamics evolve. And yeah, I think that one thing that I was shocked is that Potomac, as one of the I will say that Potomac has become a flagship show,
Mhm.
and as one of the only black shows on Bravo. Usually the black shows on Bravo do well with ratings because black people watch them and support them, right? However, I was very shocked to see that Potomac season 9 episode 1 premiered at 520,000 viewers, making it the lowest viewed episode in the series history.
I think one, people are spending less time on cable TV. That may be a factor. I'm interested to see what the numbers are from streaming the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I told you when we seen the trailer, it was boring. They did not want to see this.
But no shade. I get what you're saying about the whole streaming thing. But when Beverly Hills comes around, we don't have ratings problems.
But that's what I'm
When
saying.
New Jersey comes around, we don't have ratings problems.
Last season was such a turnoff for a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have this, what we're doing, I probably wouldn't have watched it.
I think that
What we wanted to see. We wanted to see Giselle be. Candace left, Robin left. It was a damper that Candace left already. We're in the deficit.
it was actually a red carpet to Giselle's takedown.
And they decided not to do it. And nobody wants to see this fake play nice season. I don't want to see that. I'm not going to watch that.
We need to have the resolution from all of the past, drama to be able to get to a space where we can bring new blood and forget about everything that has
I
happened.
need Monique and Candace back next season.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
I wish I was a producer because I'll be on the phone. I'll be, look, this what y'all got to do.
I will not sleep until I have Monique and Candace signed on.
Rest.
We will not rest. Weekends? What the fuck do you mean weekends?
Like
Get
if
the
y'all
fuck to
came
work.
in as friends, that would gag and goop them. Gooped.
Overtime, bitch, until those contracts are signed.
Yeah, Monique comb them locks out. But all right, let's go to the next.
Chill on her locks. Chill on her fucking locks. They're beautiful.
No, the style is beautiful. I don't like it on her.
You are shady today, honey.
Crazy.
Lord Jesus, boots. So very surprised that Potomac premiered that low. I am hopeful that the ratings go up.
Me too.
And support the show, guys. Definitely support the show.
I talk a lot of shit, but I love my Potomac girls. I love my Maryland girls. Shout out to Thomas. That's one of my favorite Maryland girls.
Very, very much that. Well, we have a sneak peek to next week's episode, so take a look.
But there's gonna come a time where you're gonna break. We need Karen to own up to her shit.
What the have I done to you for you to lie on me?
Don't ask me about my scar!
I'm well respected in this group, and I don't have to DUI thing that.
Driving while impaired by alcohol. This is what you're defending.
You wanted to go to rehab for alcoholism? Should I be worried about you? This will show me who my real friends are.
Yeah.
Now moving on to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is back, honey. Mary's back in full effect as a full-time housewife.
Mm-hmm.
They realize that they cannot do the show without Mary.
Mm-hmm.
We see a new girl in the group. Her name is Bronwyn.
Mm-hmm. And Brittany.
And Brittany as a friend. Brittany's a friend.
And they made, what's her name?
And Melly. Melly?
No, the girl who they were saying her husband was gay. What's her name?
Oh, and Angie, but Angie's not new.
Yeah, but they just made her a housewife though this season.
This is her second season as a housewife. She was a friend. Was she a friend of? Yeah, I think she was a friend of. So thoughts on Salt Lake City? The first episode of Salt Lake City was different. It was the first time ever that a housewives show premiered where the entire episode was the cast event. Like the episode started them getting to this event and it ended them being at this event. So I think the girls came out swinging. I think they came out swinging. It was a great first episode. It made me intrigued in both of the new girls. Mary, of course, came out with a bang, really drove it home. So it was a good first episode. God, what will Bravo do without black people?
I don't know.
Because
but I was poor.
She said, yeah, because I grew up putting what was it, honey buns or whatever in my purse. And she said
we didn't even have purses at that age. She must have been doing that recently.
She said, well, I wasn't talking about all of that. Like Mary said, bitch, hold on. Because what you're not gonna do is, and that is the thing about Mary that makes her such a good housewife, is that Mary will reel you in, make you feel comfortable,
And
then
then
you get too comfortable, and then she bites you.
but the thing is, Mary be dead serious. She don't even be being shady. She
At
just
all.
says what's ever in her mind. That shit
Like
is
she literally be that serious.
Mhm.
We see that Mary and Angie are very cool friends now, even though they had a roughy patch. Mary's actually in good stands with a lot of the
All
ladies.
little girls, yeah.
But I also think, and this is no shade to the girls, sometimes when it comes to work, even though you may not like somebody, you know that you need to work with them, so you're gonna kiki. I do think that some girls are being forced to kiki with Mary. I don't think Lisa Barlow really cares for Mary. I don't think that Heather honestly cares for Mary.
I don't think they care for many people like Mary.
Clock it.
Um, but I think they're scared of Mary. I don't think they want to go toe to toe with Mary. None of them,
I
honestly.
think, and I also think that to a certain extent, the Salt Lake City girls, know what what the fans want from the show.
Yeah.
Know they know that Mary is the star. They know it. They know it.
They're gonna go along to get
So
along.
they're gonna
And
they're
that's what
gonna
I like about these girls, which is different sometimes from the other girls on these franchises, is they don't really be icing nobody out. And that's what makes great TV.
However, I don't like how they're doing the whole Monica thing because Monica should have been back.
Monica should have been back. That's fault on production. I don't, if I'm being honest, I care for Mary, and surprisingly, I care for Angie this season. I don't, and Meredith is. I don't really care for. I never saw it for Lisa Barlow. I never saw it for her. I still don't see it for her. It just seems forced. The only girls I'm really seeing it for are honestly the new girls, Mary and Angie. For being honest, Heather grinds my gears. She got the eye, but she is definitely missing the T. She is not an it girl.
And she looks so different. Of course she was on Ozempic and she lost a lot of weight and she's in this new era of herself. Um I don't want Heather to lose her soul. Like, don't don't chase the clout so much that you lose your identity.
Yeah.
When
You
Heather,
know,
huh?
you know what also throws me off about Heather and Whitney too, why I can't get with those girls, and maybe it's a cultural difference, but they're cousins. So it's only so far I'm a step in a
I'm gonna
disrespect
take, yeah,
cousin. Even if
yeah.
I got a cousin, but I ain't about to be clicked up with no group of people that's disrespecting or being disrespectful to my cousin. And
Not
I'm
only that, you're not gonna go on a show and bash.
not in a bash. I'm like, I don't really fool with her too close, but that's as far as it's gonna go. So I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but that also gives me the ick about Heather. Like, how you
Yeah,
are when people talk
yeah.
about cousins is.
I think that it was, they shouldn't have introduced themselves as cousins because no shade, they didn't grow up together. So they shouldn't have. I think they try to do that to like clout, but it backfires because now we kind of feel like your entire relationship is disingenuous because if y'all were really cousins, why are y'all being so fucking vile and nasty with each other?
And like,
And
even
like,
if I didn't grow up with my cousin, I still wouldn't be doing something.
right. I think that's where the cultural values steps
Yeah,
in, where like even if we don't know each other, you're still my cousin, so I'm not doing that.
right.
Um Salt Lake City has had about 3 episodes out now. I think that one of the scenes that definitely jumps out to me is when Brittany and Mary are going at it. They're sitting at this luncheon after an activity that they did, and Brittany and Mary are kind of going at it, and Bronwyn comes from the other side
And
of the table and whacked Brittany with an assist on Mary.
Mhm.
And what Bronwyn didn't know in that instance is that Mary caught that. And one thing that Mary has always felt with this woman is that she never felt protected and she never felt like this woman had her back.
Mhm.
And like Bronwyn, I'm glad you did that because
She has an ally.
she has an ally. And no shade, Bronwyn does not give the same energy than these other girls.
Yeah, but also Bronwyn has to be careful because she's getting too fast for her britches.
Yeah.
And that car ride, and this is because Heather is conniving, and when she sat in that car ride, and after she said, "I don't trust her because how's she going to sit in the car and talk about somebody she barely knows?" You have to be careful with those Lisa Barlow,
Yeah.
Heather kind of girls, because they will turn on you. And so
They will keep key in your face, and as soon as the scene is done and you go back to your house, they will literally turn what you said because the. Oh,
and you will be on the chopping block. So you have to slow down when it comes to stuff like that.
yeah, you really have to slow down. So I want Bronwyn to breathe a little bit. However, great freshman performance, Miss Thing. 10 out of 10.
Her and Brittany.
Brittany's taking wax, but I appreciate
she's taking it.
She's taking it and she's standing on it.
Mm-hmm.
This relationship with her man that is not her man. Red flag alert. Red flag alert.
Best friend. Delete that. I'd rather you not post.
I want Brittany to know that everybody that's black saw that and was like, because we know that if a motherfucker calls you best friend,
I'm not your best friend. I would have told him to delete it. Please.
Isn't it crazy how she felt like that was him, like taking ownership of their relationship?
We live in two different worlds.
We live in two different worlds.
I'm glad Lisa says something though. She's like, babe,
babe, you're at Costco and he's calling you best friend. This is not a relationship. No shade.
Right. And I feel like Lisa Barlow has fully stepped into this head honcho, I run the girls role that she wasn't offered. Like, I don't know who died and made Lisa Barlow the queen of the girls.
And I think that the Salt Lake City doesn't have a queen. And that's the problem. Like that was Jen's problem. She tried to be the queen and now she's in jail. Like, stop. Stop. This show does not have a queen.
I know
it does not.
Supposed to be the queen, but she just hasn't done it.
Who?
There's one girl that's supposed to be the queen that has all the elements, which is Meredith, but she hasn't done it.
She hasn't done it, and
hasn't done it.
I don't know. Like, to be
Heather's too much of a follower. Mary's too unhinged.
Because I was gonna say my pick for queen would be Mary, but I think Mary doesn't want to do it.
She doesn't have the ability to rally the girls.
Right, she doesn't.
Or she has all the other elements, but that rally, that that Nene has, that Kyle has, that all these different people have. She doesn't have it.
She doesn't have it.
Yet. And I don't know if it's because maybe some mental health issue there or something going on, but we just gotta call it a thing. It's like a couple marbles missing out of Mary's bag. So. I love my auntie though. I love my auntie down.
Yeah, I don't think Salt Lake City has a queen, and they need to understand that. And all of the girls need to stop showing up to the podium wanting to be the queen. It's okay to be the servants.
Let it just happen. Let it flow.
Let it flow. Let it flow. The audience will pick its queen.
Lisa yelling at Angie, then exiting like, girl.
Throwing a glass. One thing I don't like is when y'all start breaking shit unnecessarily.
Like, girl,
please. There's no reason why you're breaking a glass. Did she say your son is a bitch?
Right.
Did she say that your son booty stink? Like, what?
What is it?
What is it? Because there's no reason for you to be throwing glasses.
Right.
Lisa Rinna broke a glass because Kim Richards brought up the husband.
Right.
We're not even talking about none of that.
Right.
So please cut it out. I don't like unnecessary ghetto-ness. Like, please cut it the fuck out.
Cut the crap.
But again, shout out to Salt Lake City. I think this is a great season. I think that, no shade, I was a little apprehensive because after I saw that Monica was not coming back, I just didn't know how the show was going to move forward with such a big thing that happened last season and them not addressing it whatsoever. I don't like that. I don't like that when we try to make it seem like nothing ever happened, especially how big the finale of Salt Lake City was.
That's how I feel about Potomac. It's like, why are we just skipping past things? But I will say Salt Lake City's doing a good job.
They are doing a good job. Well, that has been our TV recap. Thank you so much for listening. Potomac is airing on Sundays and Salt Lake City is airing on Wednesdays, I believe. So make sure you catch that. And we have a sneak peek to Salt Lake City too. So watch this.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Glad you could make it.
Thank you for including me.
Come on in.
Sean,
I'm seeing this different side of Meredith.
You know how I feel about that.
I know.
The last thing I would want is to look over and see Meredith in the corner.
Yeah, I know.
You know, she created havoc for us.
I just want us to move forward.
I'll support it, but maybe we do hire security, so if she starts, I can say security, kick her ass out.
Thanks for including
Yeah, of
me.
course.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Hi, Meredith. Thank you for coming.
You look so
Mafia and gorgeous.
After last year, when it was made abundantly clear that I would not be welcome in the Casanovas' home,
Meredith was alluding to the fact that she could destroy our family and that you actually like men.
She's not welcome in this home. I don't want to be around her at all.
I'm surprised that I was invited this year.
Oh, anything else you want to say today, honey?
I don't. Besides, we are working on some things, and we'll be back off of hiatus really soon. So please stay subscribed, followed, and interested. And we have something coming down the pipeline for you guys.
Yeah, and while we're in hiatus, make sure that you're following the Reality Rundown on Instagram, Twitter, and all of the things, because that stays active. So if you want to know anything about reality TV, make sure that you're following at the Reality Rundown for all the latest and greatest from your fan favorites. If that's it, then I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.